Hi guys, how are you doing? So welcome for this new episode of Inspirations. So that's my podcast about yarn dyeing, the yarn that I dye and that I sell in my Etsy shop, and about knitting, mainly about knitting, but also about, things around knitting. About me, just a bit about me as well. So, I hope you had a lovely month of August. For me, it was my summer break, and this is the first podcast episode after the break. I'm very happy to be back. I was very happy to go on holiday, but I'm very happy to be back because, I love what I do. And it's always a pleasure to sit for a bit and chat a bit with you guys. So, also, I just wanted to let you know that at the end of the month of August, I don't feel like we're in summer anymore. For me, fall starts on September 1st. I don't feel like it's summer still in September, although it is. But and it's really for me the start of the new year. Even more than in January, for example, because, with all the kids starting New Year's at school and so on and so forth, this is season 3, episode 1. So, to make it short. So, episode 1 of season 3 of Inspirations. So, I'm Christelle. For those of you enjoying the podcast for the first time, I'm Christelle. You can find me almost everywhere on the internet as Tricot Stitch. It's the name of my Etsy shop as well, where you can find the yarn. So the way it works, the Etsy shop is updated once a week on Mondays at 5 p.m. Paris time. There is also a newsletter sent out every week at the same time to show you what's new in the shop and share a bit of, what's happened and things like that. Also, there's a podcast every Monday at 5. Everything is on Mondays at 5. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me again today. New haircut, the shortest I've ever done. Not sure how I feel about it yet because it's brand new, but kind of like it. It's like a pixie cut. I'm not very at ease for, styling it yet. I'm still, exploring options, but quite happy with having such short hair because I have exactly the same head and face and hair. Well, the concept of bed hair is out of my life, okay? I always have bed hair. Either I always have bed hair or I don't have bed hair anymore. So that's pretty cool. Because usually when I woke up, I had like this, okay? So this is really something I'm enjoying tremendously, even though I'm not really still at ease with how I'm styling this cut, but yeah, it's cool. So on the program today, so yeah, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to sit a bit and chat with you guys. And yeah, I'm quite excited about everything I have prepared for you. So let's jump into it, okay? So first of all, I just wanted to make a little debrief about my summer break. It was great. So, we are a large family. I have 4 kids aged between 13 and 3. And we went on the road. We went in the south of France. I live near Paris the rest of the year, but this year for the break we decided to go south. We were not very far from Spain actually, and not far from the Mediterranean Sea. So we went to the beach, we went to the Pyrenees mountains, we had a lovely time. We visited a lot of castles because historically speaking, the The area is very rich with very old castle, very old stone and stonework, and lots of things to learn and discover about the history of France. A lot about the Qatar, for example, in the Middle Ages. It was very, very interesting, and we take the kids with us everywhere we go, and enjoy, you know, sightseeing, visiting museums, and going to the beach, and enjoying the swimming pool at the camping site. So it was great. I came back with lots of energy. I had a lot of knitting time as well, because we were in the car quite a bit. So I had, well, my husband loves to drive, and I quite indifferent about it, so usually he drives and I knit, and that's perfect. And the main project on which I worked and that I can show you is my Magnolia Chunky Cardigan by Camilla Vad. So it's almost done, guys. I just have the sleeves to finish, but I've been very naughty because I didn't do a swatch. I cast on the day before we left, and I happily knitted on it for a week, because yeah, I mean, it knits up very quickly. You knit that with 6mm needles, and it's chunky weight, so it's super fast. But because I didn't have a swatch, I didn't plan enough yarn, and it's too big. So I've been punished. Okay, so that's all that's left, so I have to dye some more. But the good thing about that is you won't have the same problem when I will prepare some kits for you guys. You will have a very precise sample, a very precise idea of the sample knitted with this yarn, because the yardage is a bit different from the recommended yarn. So I paved the way for you. Okay, so for you it will be, you won't have that problem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the gauge once blocked on the finished piece, but I'm also going to knit a separate gauge that I'm, a gauge swatch, and I'm going to block it, and we are going to compare the gauge swatch and the gauge measured on the finished piece, because you know, the weight of the piece can have an influence on the swatch. So everything will be very precise, and I will be able to tell you with a certain amount of accuracy how much yarn you will need to knit your size. So that's good. Okay, but I don't have sleeves and I need to dye some more. About the colorway, it's the colorway that I dyed especially for this pattern. So it's a base that's a beige rosé with little, you know, very cold brown undertones, with a mist of very light-handed speckles, which gives it's like it shimmers. It's beautiful, and I've enjoyed knitting this a lot. You see, it's just, yeah, almost neutral with, you know, you can say there is a bit of nuances, but when you have a close-up, you can see all the different speckles, and yeah, it's lovely, really. I'm loving it. I'm very, you know, I'm looking forward to have it finished and wear it when it's cold this winter. Okay. The other thing I wanted to share with you is the Almanac colorway for the month of September. So if you're not familiar with the Sock Knitters Almanac, it's a Tricot Stitch yarn club that's monthly. So at the start of each month, I'm offering you guys a colorway that I dyed, inspired by a theme that's seasonal, basically. It's a theme that is linked to the ongoing month. For example, for July and August, the colors were very bright. It was more, you know, summery. And as I told you before, for me, September is like fall already. So I didn't want to go all fall on you guys, but I must say, yeah, it's kind of in between summer and fall, because I chose to dye something inspired by yummy things you can cook at this time of year. I mean, in the North Hemisphere, at this time of year, fall is not very far, but you still have plenty of fruits from summer, like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, figs. Well, it's the time of year when you can bake a lot of cakes with fresh fruit that you can find, like you can pick them up in the forest, or how do we, there is also les mûres, I don't remember the name in English, but yeah, black currant, no, well, I will put it there. So that there is a lot of such berries around here. You can just go in the forest and pick them up. So prunes as well. Yeah, lots of fruits you can bake, and those fruits have a very interesting color for dyers. They got me very inspired, and so I decided to, you know, mix browns and pinks and purples to create a colorway that's completely yummy and inspired by all the good things you can bake at this time of year. So the name of the colorway is Clafoucake, which is a mix between clafoutis and cake, and that's a thing if you're wondering. There are some recipes for Clafoucakes, so I just find the name very funny. And yeah, so here's Clafoucake. I'm going to show it to you first, starting with MCN, which is a base I love because it always keeps the colors very separated and very clear, and it's the best way to show you which colors I chose for this for this month's colorway. So you can see the bronze here, the rust, a lot of purple, pink. I decided to keep some white as well because I wanted to showcase all the beautiful speckles. There is a lot of speckles that I decided to do based on this. It's a picture of a coconut eton mess, which is absolutely gorgeous and yummy, and I love the topping. You can see all the colors mixing together. There is some true red, blue, purple, greens, even some honey yellow thrown in, and everything is so beautiful and harmonious, and I wanted to use that on my Clafoucake colorway. So on each skein you will have a generous layer of such speckles on the lighter areas, because I wanted to have some cream and some toppings. So that's on MCN. And this is the same colorway across different bases. This is Lurex, so with a lot of beautiful sparkles. This is on Stellina with sparkle as well, but you know, not so obvious as Lurex. This is on my beloved extra thin fingering, so the base that has been out of stock for such a long time. It's again out of stock at my supplier, but I'm hopeful it will be back in stock during September. And anyway, I have some stock. This is on Polwarth. So Polwarth is very close to BFL in the way it takes the dye, but it's the base is actually whiter than BFL. But I will also have BFL in this update. It will be just on short pre-order because it's not dyed yet. And this is on extra thin sock 3-ply, so that's basically the softest sock base that I ever came across, and it has this specificity, this yarn, that it blends more the colors together. So that's why you don't see many white areas on this one. That's the base, it does that. Polwas does that as well, and BFL does that as well. Bases like MCN and Lurex and extra thin fingering keep the colors very well separated, but this one tends to blend them. And the pattern that I selected to go with this month's colorway to showcase it to you guys and to encourage you to discover new patterns of socks is a classic. I'm pretty sure you know it, and maybe many of you have already knitted it. It's the Monkey Socks by Cookie A. That's a classic. I think that's one of the most knitted pattern there is on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. Also, there is a revised version, I think Cookie A. It was first of all published with Nitty, but I think she released another version with additional information, and that one you can buy. It doesn't have anything out of the ordinary in terms of techniques, but it's a classic. It's a lovely pair of socks. The lovely stitch pattern is beautiful and suits all types of yarn, variegated or semi-tonal, or you can. It looks good with any kind of color play on the yarn. So, and it's such a popular and classic pattern. So here is this pattern selection for this month. You can see how the colorway is knitting up. So this is Polwas. So bear in mind that on this version of the colorway, the colors are more blended than on MCN and Lurex, and this is how it looks all caked up. So that's it for the September colorway of the Sock Knitter's Almanac. I hope you like it. It's available so on a large array of bases in the shop. You have MCN, Lurex, Stellina, Polwas, BFL on short pre-order. You will have extra thin fingering, HT for high twist on short pre-order as well. You have extra thin sock 3-ply and I think that I covered everything. Yeah. There will be a coordinated stitch marker as well, but I totally forgot to show it to you. So it will be in the shop, clearly identified as a September stitch marker if you wish to add it to your order. The next thing I wanted to share with you guys is something I had really a hard time keeping from you, because it's been brewing since I think May or something. It's that I'm part of the official team of dyers for Sarah Shira Imagine Landscape new mystery knit along. And it's so cool. So it's Gnome again, and this time the pun is all work, Gnome play. And I prepared, so the difference with my previous involvement is that because I've been preparing kits for gnomes for almost a year now, and this time around I got to see the gnome before, and I was able to design some color pairings based on the actual gnome, finished gnome. So because it starts on September 21st, and that I wanted to offer 3 different options, I decided to offer 3 very different options based on the time of year, because we are really in the middle between summer, which has just ended on September 21st, fall, which is about to start, and Halloween just around the corner. And again, I was kind of inspired by, baked goods, and I decided to take the inspirations from some lovely muffins, cupcakes. So the first one is very summer inspired. It's called Sirène Estiva. That's Summer Mermaid, and it's inspired by this cupcake. So you can see you always have in the kits one undyed mini, and then you have one very heavily variegated and one which is more semi-tonal with very light speckles. So this is the colorway, the first colorway you can choose from. Then there is this inspiration which is called Trésor d'automne, that's fall treasure. It's inspired by this yummy thing, and it's basically your peanut butter cupcake with Smarties topping. So that's why you have a lot of different colors. You have some greens, oranges, yellow with a generous amount of brown, and this is more like tan with a lot of different lot of speckles. So this is Trésor d'automne, and the last one is Halloween, and it's called Surprise d'Halloween, and it's Halloween surprise. And you have the Halloween colors, that's purple, lime green, orange with a generous amount of black thrown in, and then you have a lovely pumpkin and speckles, and that's your Halloween cupcake. Okay, so that's the kits that I prepared for you guys for this very exciting new Gnome Mystery KAL. I can't wait to, I'm going to knit it with you guys, so I'll be sharing it with you in the podcast. And I won't be starting before, well, I might start a bit ahead just to be able to share it with you in the podcast. But know that I'm very excited and I love that gnome. It's lovely. And that's it for the things I wanted to show you. Also, I just wanted to tell you that I will have the planning for the next few weeks will be a bit unusual, because I'm having two big fiber festivals coming up in France. The first one is the Knit.it festival in Lyon, and that's on October 2nd and 3rd. And the other one is the Journée Nationale de la Laine. That's the National Wool Days. And it's on October 29th, 30th and 31st. So the podcast immediately after those festivals will be postponed by 2 to 3 days, because I will be on the road coming back from the festivals. I will try and keep up with the podcast, even though, for example, for the Journée Nationale de la Laine, I will be leaving very early in the week. I will be leaving on the Wednesday, but I will still try and record a podcast before I leave. But just to let you know, I will do my absolute best, but if I can't, I will let you know. Also, I'm thinking of, I'm sorry, my neighbor is making some, works in his, well, we're almost done. I just wanted to let you know that the next update for the shop, it's going to be in September. So September 13th will be dedicated to Kids to Knit Your Own Réconfort Shawl, which is my new pattern coming, which will be published on September 27th. So here is the pattern. It's currently being tested. Well, the test is almost done. And it will be available very soon, so on September the 27th, and the kit will go live in the shop next Monday. So it's a very simple and basic triangular shawl with garter stitch and a very simple lace motif, and it's called Réconfort, which can be translated directly to comfort, because that's what it does. And it's a mix of DK tweeded DK, absolutely gorgeous and soft, and some more silk. And it knits upon a very big needle, I think 0.5 millimeters, so it's a quick knit. And then I'm planning to offer you some kits to knit your own mystery card by Stephen West on September the 20th, and I'll try to throw some aimable in on the 27th, but it might be postponed by 1 week depending on how I'm, you know, preparing all the things I need to prepare for the festivals. And that's it for you guys. So just to let you know that although I will be very busy dyeing yarn for the festivals, I will, it is for me absolute priority to keep the shop up and running and not forget you who can't attend the festival. So thank you for staying with me until the end. Sorry for the noise. And I'll see you next Monday. So have a lovely week and see you next Monday. Bye guys.